Hello, I'm going to talk to you today about the North Node and the South Node of the Moon. They are not visible points in space because they're not planets, they're not stars, they're not a celestial body in themselves. They are literally calculations of where the Sun and the Moon will eclipse in the cycle of that year, 18 months, 19 months. They tend to stay in the same sign. So they are literally calculated points in space. There's the true node, the mean node. In this video, we'll be talking more about the true node. It will be changing this year on the 26th of July, moving to the next sign but they move backwards. So currently we have the North Node in Pisces. That will be moving to Aquarius. Currently we have the South Node in Virgo. That will be moving to Leo, back to Leo. So let's discuss what that means. The current cycle we're in, where it's in Pisces Virgo axis. Okay, so that began early, like January 2025. However, it started to build from the last eclipse season of 2024, around about that sort of September, October time. And so there is this sense where we have been collectively moving towards our North Node, which was in Pisces. It's about spirituality and belief. It's about going with the flow more. It's about boundaries very much. Like there's been a lot about borders and boundaries of different countries, where they end. There's this sense of illusion or disillusion, sort of dissolving almost those borders and boundaries. Some people think they can take a little bit more than what they should. Changing names of certain seas and stuff like that. Pisces can be very much about the seas. So there's this changing about, like physical, actual borders and boundaries. It's very much about dreams and illusions. So what we dream of happening, what we would like desire to happen in our lives, those goals, those sort of things where we think that it might never be possible. It's about believing that it is possible and taking a little step towards them each day. It's about, really truly believing and wanting them things to come true. It's also about having that complete faith in the universe, that those things could happen, and trust in the things that we can't necessarily see. So, different things like spirit guides and things which guide us and lead us to believe in certain things. That is very much all about Pisces. With the South Node then in the polar opposite position of Virgo. So whereas Pisces is about the dreams, the illusions, the boundlessness of life, Virgo is very much about those boundaries, the structures, the rules, the regulations, the clarity and the finer details. It's about the facts. You can't just change the facts. It's about staying very true, having absolute clarity where the line should be drawn as such. And it's about the very sort of real life matters and structures and resources and things that you need to move towards those dreams. Because if you don't have, we can almost tell ourselves, oh wow, those dreams aren't real, or if I don't have the right resources, I can't do it, or if I don't have the right qualification, we can put all the sort of things in the way. We can focus too much on the finer details, and it's very much about perfectionism. So, if you want everything to be exactly perfect, we never take that step forward. We never take that leap towards that dream we have, because we're trying to make everything exactly perfect. So it's trying to clear up that area of our life, trying to make us, just try and take that step forward. Even if you don't have everything you need and you can't do it perfect, just do a little something that's moving in the right direction. Okay, so then this year we've already started building towards this, because in the February eclipses we were moving towards those Leo Aquarius themes, eclipses in that area, but now it's going to move so that the North Node will be in Aquarius, which is very much about our unique abilities, but where we kind of fit in within a whole crowd. So it's not fitting into the crowd to be exactly like everyone else and conforming to other people's societal values and beliefs, what people think we should all be. It's very much being our unique self, but within that tribe. Where do we fit? Where does our role come into how we fit into the bigger picture, the world in itself? Where do our ideas and our innovations help others? You know, we all have our unique viewpoints on life. No two people think in exactly the same way. And it's embracing that. It's about the differences. It can very much be about, you know, like people who are like neurodivergence and understanding that a little bit more. So we may, you know, be coming into an era where they are starting to take lead. They're starting to show what their unique gifts are and how they can sort of inspire and innovate and change the world in some way. With the South Node in Leo, and this is where it gets quite interesting because of some other planetary stuff that's going on as well. So the South Node in Leo is about clearing up that area in life. Where have we been trying to take control of others and lead others and, you know, push people in different directions? Where have we been trying to show off in a way, where we've been trying to show that we are better than everyone else in this area of our life, depending on where it is in your chart? Where have we been trying to you know, like show up in some ways? And it's like clearing up this area. It's about our ego. It can be very much about leadership, control. And this is where I think it's going to get interesting, because with Jupiter also moving in the sign now of Leo for the next year. So Jupiter will have left before the South Node leaves. I can see this time of like escalating the wealth of the richest and the most powerful and the leaders of the world, escalating the powers and controls that they have. They're very much feeding themselves in this, filling their own pockets and making the rules up to suit themselves. We're very much ego based and very quite like, you know, like in a quite self-centered Leo way. So this is going to be clearing that up. It's going to become very clear where they have not been working towards helping the bigger picture and the community and the all and everyone and being part of the people. And then with this Pluto opposition, so Pluto would be in Aquarius. You know, the North Node won't get to Pluto till towards the end of next year, the end of this year, more into next year. Sorry. But Pluto in Aquarius with that North Node is very much about seeing through the manipulation. There's quite a big sense of rebellion of the people against the people in power, taking back that power and the control, growing a sense of community where the community empowers itself and does things for itself and just no longer pay into a system that is trying to take control of them. So whether there'll be like more sort of smaller collective councils and communities that will manage themselves rather than great big governmental dictators and rulers and leaders and stuff like that. I very much think that there is a sense of power being taken by sort of corporate leaders and people who are in like leadership of a lot of things like the social media and all those sorts of like online big business companies. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to very much be an interesting time, but it's about not seeking the validation of others to some point, but actually like helping others, where we help others rather than where we take control over others. And it's going to be very interesting how this sort of plays out with the Leo and Jupiter in opposite signs as well, alongside the North Node and the South Node. Yeah, so that's kind of what's happening. If you would like to watch my next videos, which will be coming out, it will be about your own personal placements of your own South Node and North Node in your birth chart and how that sort of plays out in your life as well. So if you'd like to subscribe or follow me, then that will obviously notify you when the next video comes out.